What's up, guys? Luke here with Mongoose Mindset. It has been officially almost 2 months since I started up this business venture and since it's been going. Over this time, I have learned a lot. I have gotten more efficient at editing and speaking and talking and communicating, not just verbally in a sense like talking better and not using filler words, but as well as getting my point across of what Mongoose Mindset is. Mongoose Mindset is for people to act now and evolve forever. We want to take action today so that we can evolve tomorrow and throughout our future. I just wanted to share, I'm not holding anything back. This is all the data that I have from since we've started. So first off, I have 0 clients. I have 0 income coming in, nothing at all. After 2 months of consistently posting YouTube videos, consistently posting reels, consistently making tweets and posts and on Instagram and stuff like that. So what I started out with, I started out making a reel every single day, and it wasn't reasonable for me because the editing of it it took too much time, because I was filming separate stuff from reels rather than taking the content I'm using on YouTube and making it into reels. I was doing totally different things. So I decided to, instead of making random content ideas, which I've still been putting out some random stuff, we're just like a me talking head video of me talking in front of the camera, but I've started to deviate more towards utilizing the content that I've already made for YouTube and making that into smaller shorts and clippets. So I can put shorts and reels and everything on TikTok and stuff like that. That's another thing, TikTok has been giving me problems lately. I'm able to post stories, but I am not able to post posts and reels for some reason. I've contacted TikTok; they haven't reached back out to me, and I've looked up information on YouTube on how to clear the cache and stuff like that, and it's not been working. So I've been posting primarily on Facebook, Instagram, and then I'll do a post every morning on Twitter and respond to a few people. On this YouTube channel, I have currently 7 subscribers. There's 47 videos out there. That's shorts and reels. Shorts and long form content. And a total of 9,558 views, which a view could just be somebody looking at it. That's not somebody watching the full video. And to be honest, my videos don't really get much views. The video that has the highest amount of views, like long form content wise, is my two ingredient pancake recipe. And then the other thing is how to make my whey paste or protein drip or whatever. That's another 39 views. And I've kind of tried to shift more to I guess the niche, so to say, of people maybe struggling with eating disorders, because that's ultimately where I came from. I started at 12 years old with an eating disorder and didn't know how to train, didn't know how to diet, and I made the mistakes that probably a lot of people make today too, because they go on like a crash diet or an extreme diet or do extreme training stuff, or they don't train hard enough. And I just want to help people, whether it's people who have eating disorders or are struggling with eating disorder, body dysmorphia problems, especially young men, because I'm a young man and that's kind of the audience I'm going towards, but also just helping general populations just improve their mindset. Today I just updated my website. I added pictures to my coaching services to make them a little bit more distinct from each other. And then I also added a Mongoose mentorship program that, you can pay me and we can talk. And then hopefully that will help get people to me. So when I talk to them, they realize that they have a problem, that they have problems in their life that is not helping them accomplish their goals. And I can, offer the coaching and I can help them. But out of all this stuff that I've been doing, out of all the time that I've spent on making reels, making YouTube videos, making YouTube thumbnails, to try to help the algorithm go in 2 months, I have not gotten far. One guy has contacted me because I met him at the gym and he thought this was a good idea and he wanted to, get in shape and everything. And he's not really emailing back or showing that he's committed. That's the thing. You got to be committed. If you really, really want to reach your goals in life, you have to be committed. You can't wait. You have to act now and evolve forever. Even if it's not perfect, even if it doesn't feel right, if you don't know all the details yet, just start. If I wouldn't have started this business when I started it, I may have never started it. If I wouldn't have made this business like an official LLC, filed with the Virginia Declaration of whatever to make it an official legally licensed business, then put it in a DBA, which is basically calling it Mongoose Mindset when it's in reality the business name is Mongoose Mindset LLC, but I can brand it as Mongoose Mindset. Having to open a business account, I had to drive like 3 hours to open this business account each way because the closest Virginia credit union at the time was 3 hours away in Farmville, Virginia. When I got there, I was telling the lady, yeah, I know you're opening up a Virginia credit union in Blacksburg. And I said, yeah, but it's not open yet on the website. That's what it says. And she said, it just opened up this morning. And I didn't get mad or anything because I'm like, I'm here. That's another thing, Mongoose Mindset. You can't let shit like that get in your head. You have to just go with the flow. You're already here. You're already doing this. Just let it happen. But that would have been really beneficial if I knew that, so I didn't have to drive 3 hours, and I could instead drove 25 minutes to and from instead of spending 6 hours of my day in the car. I've also, I bought that t-shirt. I designed that t-shirt. I designed those stickers. I bought 100 or so stickers, and I've been giving those out periodically to people, my parents. And at times it's depressing. At times it sucks because you're not seeing any type of result from the work that you're doing. But I just need to keep in my head and keep going and know that this is only temporary. This is only temporary. When I was, started lifting weights and I was skinny as a twig. I had no muscle mass on me. When I used to do a bicep curl, you can see my bicep now, but when I used to do a bicep curl, you could see my bone. That's how skinny I was. There was literally no muscle fibers, nothing there. But over time, I've stayed consistent, I've stayed dedicated, and I've got a lot further than I was then. And guess what? I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be showing off these muscles. Not that I'm showing it off, but I wouldn't be saying I have all this if I wouldn't have started. If I wouldn't have started lifting weights. If when I had the eating disorder, I wouldn't have not wanted to change. When I was in treatment, it got to the point I knew I had to change. I knew I had to break outside of my comfort zone, get uncomfortable. I knew I had to eat. I had to start eating back normal because that was the only way I was going to get out of that situation. I hated eating disorder treatment, that treatment facility, because not the people in it exactly. Some people I disliked, not really patients, but some of the therapeutic assistants, because they were just doing their job. They were telling me to sit down. They were telling me to relax, recover, because in reality, my body did need to recover because my bone density was crap. I had the bone density of an 80-year-old woman when I went and got a DEXA scan at Duke University. And my body was skinny. I was skinny like an Ethiopian. I looked like I was about to die. And I probably was about to die. I say within 2 weeks of continuing to do what I was doing, without that growth and uncomfortable feeling that I got from being there, I would have died. And the only reason why I started eating the food initially and drinking the supplement shakes is because I didn't want a feeding tube. That's what motivated me to start eating. I didn't want a feeding tube shoved down my nose and into whatever it has to go into to feed me. And if you look back at it, it's kind of, you're going to let a machine feed you. Think about that. That's not right. Our body was meant to be nourished by ourselves. We were meant to go out and hunt elk and grow our own food. And I don't really want to do that anymore. I used to hunt and I used to help my mom in the garden and everything when I was younger. But I don't want to do that now. I'd rather just, cook my food. And that's still work. You still got to cook your food. You still got to meal prep. But you've gone to the point to where you're letting a machine pump fluids in your body. And I didn't want that. I just kept going. I kept pushing. I kept being resilient because that's what you needed to do. And that's exactly what I needed to do with this business. And exactly what I need to continue to do with life. I know I don't have the best genetics. I've built muscle mass and stuff over time, but that's just because of the consistent dedication that I put into it. I obviously do not have the best genetics. I've seen, kids that are in a lot better shape than I have and do less work than I do in the gym, outside the gym with the nutrition and recovery and everything like that. And it sucks. It sucks to see that, but you got to remember, you can't quit. You only fail if you quit or if you die. If you keep going, if you keep pushing, like I'm going to do with Mongoose Mindset, like you should be doing with your life. And that's the thing that makes you successful. Realizing that you're not good yet. Realizing that you can do more. Realizing that you need to get uncomfortable. Not be doing the same things every day, staying stagnant. You need to jump outside your comfort zone because that's the thing that's going to make you grow. When I had my eating disorder, I jumped outside my comfort zone. I didn't want to eat carbs. I didn't even want to eat fats. I only wanted to eat protein, but I had to do it. I didn't want to eat junk food. I ate pizza. I ate ice cream. I ate candy. I ate Skittles. I ate yogurt-covered pretzels, which is actually just white chocolate and is not yogurt. I did those things and got outside my comfort zone because that's what I needed to do to get where I wanted to be, to get out of that treatment facility. And that's what I've continued to do in life. I've continued to progress and get outside my comfort zone in the gym, in training, in this business. I never knew how to create a website before I started this business. I never even knew how to start a business before I started this business. I didn't know that you had to file with the Virginia State. I didn't know that you had to, do all this stuff for taxes. It's a lot more stuff that goes into it than you think. So this is me saying I'm not going to quit. Tomorrow I start school here at New River Community College, and I'm scared. I'm going to be honest. I am scared. I am going to be uncomfortable because I have to switch up my routine. I normally go to the gym and train in the morning when I wake up. Like, I usually get there at 8. But now, because I have to be at school at 8, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to go to the gym before school because I know the gym is the most important thing to me. And it's what I need to do to invest in myself and ultimately to give you true meaning. Because if I'm preaching this stuff and not doing it, what's the point of me preaching it? You want somebody who can motivate you, that actually does the thing that they preach. They don't just say it just for money or views or clicks or whatever. I'm not making any fucking money off of this right now. And I may never make any fucking money off of it in the future. But I'm going to try my best because that's all you can do. You got to try your best and keep branching outside of your comfort zone because nobody's going to do it for you. Yes, you can have coaches, you can have mentors. I have a coach that helps me with bodybuilding and everything, but he's just an online coach. He's not there in the gym pushing me on every set and every rep, saying you can do one more, you can do this, you can do that. I do that. And you know how I do that? Because I have a stronger mindset than most people. I push myself in the gym. I push myself in life. I push myself in this business. Because I want to grow my mind. I want to grow my body. I want to be successful. And if you want to be successful, you have to get outside your comfort zone. And if you need somebody to help get you outside your comfort zone, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I just went on my website today. I created a new service. This service is going to be called the Mongoose Mentorship Sessions. If you want to figure out what is holding you back in life through an unbiased opinion from me who has faced adversity in many ways. I didn't grow up in a poverty with my family. You know, I grew up in a middle class family, but I had to overcome an eating disorder. I had to overcome body dysmorphia. I still struggle with that to this day. I had to overcome, you know, getting back to normal life. And so if you want somebody to help you point out those flaws and goals in your life that are constricting you from reaching your goals, whether that's in training, nutrition, or whatever, even if you have an eating disorder, you know, I have the experience. If you have an eating disorder out there and you're struggling with this, or have eating problems, body dysmorphia, anything, you need to come to me. You don't need to go to a doctor or a dietitian. Yes, those people have experience and patients they've seen, and they've gone to school, they've read a book and took a test. You know what 99% of those doctors and dietitians don't have? They've never had or have an eating disorder or any of these mental health issues that come along with it. They don't know where you've been. They don't know what you're going through, but I do. I've been through that experience, and I've overcome a lot of those things. And honestly, I still struggle with some things to this day, but I'm learning to get better at that, to improve my mindset, to improve my body physically, because there is always room for improvement. And you will always improve, you will always grow if you never quit. I'm not quitting on this. You should not quit on your goals. And if you need help with your goals in pointing out those flaws and unbiased opinion in your life, reach out to me and I can help you. I've been through it. I've made the mistakes. And I ultimately do not want anybody else to have to go through the same eating disorder or body dysmorphia or whatever you want to call it in their life either. So like always, act now, act today, do the things today, and evolve forever. Every single day should be some growth. It's that 1%, that 0.001% better, no matter what it is. Get better in some way, shape, or form, mentally or physically, every single day. Thank you. And this is just the beginning.